Okay, I thought I'd do a video on my thoughts of Resident Evil 4 Remake, the Chainsaw demo, which is available on both the PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X and Series S, and also on Steam. Now, I don't know if most people know, but I'm a massive Resident Evil fan. One of the first games that I got on the GameCube was Resident Evil 1 Remake. And then eventually on, I did get Resident Evil 4, which is one of my favourites games. Obviously playing as Leon Kennedy. And then I ended up buying the game again, the Wii U edition, obviously with the Wii remote, which for me felt a lot more accurate, believe it or not. And then I ended up obviously getting the Resident Evil 4 remaster for the Xbox, which I didn't end up paying for, so that was a bonus. Although I'd still love to get that for the Switch so I can have it portably. But anyway, we'll get back to Resident Evil 4 now. When you hear of remakes, sometimes you hear of that sometimes, but they don't kind of work. And obviously after seeing the Dead Space remake, we've seen how doing a game from scratch but keeping the familiarity of the original does pay off. And my first initial thoughts of the demo, again judging it by the demo, not the full game, because obviously with what you get to play, you only get to play a abridged version of the game. Obviously there's bits cut out. So far really liking it. You kind of start off with the intro, obviously with him telling you the events of Resident Evil 2 Remake. And then you actually see in the intro sequence the actual him training to be like a special agent, and also having to work for the president to basically rescue her daughter, which is the same plot as Resident Evil. Obviously the original Resident Evil 4. And then we're dumped right at the beginning. We've seen obviously him coming out of the car, which if you turn around and walk back, you actually see it. It's a little bit, it plays out a little bit differently, because in the original Resident Evil 4, the police officers are still in the car, and they start making fun of Leon's looks. But again, we don't know how much of it that they're showing us. And obviously there's bits cut, so the intro sequence in the full game is going to be very different. But first of all, the thing that you really notice with the actual game is the actual graphics and the attention to detail. Even right down to his pistol, the actual detail of the actual gun itself. It's kind of really fantastic. Even right down to Leon's hair, where it starts. You can even see the single strands of his hair kind of moving, even when he's running or bending down. You can actually run, and then if you let go of the button, he still runs with momentum. You can also finally crouch, which is actually fantastic. Because in the original game you could, but you could only do it when the game gave you the button prompt to actually crouch. And when you get to the house, and as I said before, the detail of some of the animals that you see, the corpses, and then some of their intestines and the flies and blood, it's really detailed. Again, you get the choice of performance mode, which basically means that obviously you can have a higher resolution, which I suppose you're only really gonna tell if you've got a 4K. Unfortunately, I've only still got a 1080p TV. Hope to get a 4K one day. Or you can go for a frame rate, which for me, is the way to go, because I'd rather have a smooth gameplay than a jittery performance. But I have heard issues, more so with the PC version, but there have been problems with the console version where it does jutter a little bit with the frames. But hopefully that shouldn't be in the full game. Then after that, obviously you have to fight. You enter this room, and then you see this guy, and obviously you see Leon actually speaking Spanish to the guy, trying to find out, trying to explain to the guy that he's a police officer and stuff, which is kind of really great. And then the one thing that you do notice with the guy's eyes is that the guy's eyes are like really red, which is a kind of a dead giveaway as to that the guy isn't exactly normal. And then it does, I don't know, again, it just plays out differently from the original Resident 4. Leon, the guy goes to attack Leon with an axe, and Leon kicks him, and then the guy hits his head on the wall and then breaks his neck. But what in the attention to detail is that with the guy's beard, you can actually see the blood on the guy's beard completely coated in it, and you can tell like even the thickness of the blood on the guy's beard. It's just the attention to detail. And then when you check out the pot, and then Leon says, "Oh, that's disgusting." So he still says his little one-liners here and there. And then you see the monkey which has been cut open. You then go upstairs. You then investigate, hearing the noise of one of the police officers, and then you find the body. And then you hear on the radio that some other police officers are being attacked. And then the next minute, this is when you fully get control of your gun. Now you're only given 10 bullets. What I did initially was I used to try doing headshots, which you can do. But the one thing I would say about before we go further on into the demo is that I don't know whether you like to call these people zombies. I don't know what they are. They move a hell of a lot faster than what they do in Resident Evil 4. Now, Resident Evil 2, me and America can't remember if they move that quick, but in this one, they're extremely quick, so you can't afford to diddle-daddle. After playing that a couple times, what I did was that I just dodged the guy and moved. One of the things that is great with this game is that you've got melee attacks, where if you do get grabbed, you break free, and then you can stab the zombie in the head, pause it, or you can swipe with your knife. If they fall on the floor, you can actually do a kill hit with your knife, which is kind of great. But the only difference what you'll find with the knife now is that the knife actually degrades. So the more you use it, the more the actual knife will break. There probably are going to be ways how you can get better knives and probably upgrade the knives to make them last longer, or even if you finish the game a certain way, you probably get a knife that doesn't break. So then you take that guy on, you get a mission report from Hunnigan, who looks a lot more detailed, obviously in this for obvious reason. He gets attacked, and he jumps out the window. Now in the original one, you jump out the window, and then you've got 3 of the zombies that you have to sit and take on. But they stare at you from the window. You're gonna make your way down the wooden bridge. And then obviously you can collect some more bullets, but you don't get too many. Before you kind of leave the first house, there is a herb before you go up the stairs inside of the cupboard. So that's kind of great. And then even the crafting is a little bit different into how you do it in the game. And you can also craft weapons as well. If you find gunpowder and resources, so you can do create bullets, shotguns, whatever that system. I don't know what else is going to be in the game. You then get to a bit where there's this lorry was supposed to be wrecked, and then there's 2 zombies there. You either take them on, or you can just go past them if you want. Then there's a shed where there's an enemy in there. Again, you can take them or not. There is ammo and flash. I think a flash grenade inside there, and then you do, as before, like in the previous game, where you find pesetas. That's the currency they use to, obviously you're going to collect so you can upgrade your weapons. You get to the village, and then you see the same bit where the police officer has been burned alive. He's been burned. But the difference between this and the previous and the original Resident Evil 4 is that when the police officers were being burned on the bonfire, they were already dead. But what they said they seem to have done on this version of it, which is more graphic, is they're actually unconscious, and then they wake up and you can actually hear them burning. Now, one of the things I do like about this game, or about the demo I should say, is you can do stealth kills. So you can go behind somebody and then you press wherever the shoulder button, and then you can do a stealth kill, which is great. Which I've always wanted to be able to do stealth kills when you're able to do that, of course, because sometimes there are some cut sequences don't allow you to do that. But I'm hoping that that you're able to do that. Obviously, the things play out eventually that when they do spot you, obviously they come after you. Now, word of warning, and again, I don't know what the full version of it's going to be like. There are absolutely loads of the villagers in the Resident Evil 4. What happened is that once you killed some of the zombies, they would just melt away, and obviously that's probably just to do with the hardware at the time, where it's taking too much processing power and keeping the bodies on the floor. But in this version, they actually stay there. And as I said before earlier on, when I said that the enemies are really quick in this game, and I mean they're super quick. So you can't afford to keep still in the village. So there's loads of them, and obviously there's different routes around the village. So with this game, is that if you go around one path and the path of the zombies after you, there's also other zombies going around the other paths when you're trying to go around the village. So basically, they basically got you cornered, so you can't keep still. Again, you've got the chainsaw guy as well. So he's there, and then where you can block it, you go into the room, same cutscene, where you block the actual door, but this time the chainsaw guy can actually chainsaw through the actual door. You get the shotgun, you don't get much ammo, and then basically you have to survive for 4 minutes before they ring the bell. And when I first initially did it, was kind of really difficult, and you do accumulate kind of points for kind of doing that. And as I said before, it's really hard because there's actually a lot of this, hundreds. It felt like there were hundreds of them. And again, as I said, they're pretty quick and they're cornering you everywhere. So no matter where you try to go around on the different paths to go around the village to escape, to survive the 4 minutes, they're always around you. So it's really kind of difficult. And also you can get headshots, but you can't get like in the original game where you've got clean head, you've got to do 1 kill headshot. I suppose it will still happen, depending on, I suppose, if you can upgrade your gun or not. So that's going to be difficult. And as I said before, your actual best weapon to use is the TMP, which I'll explain to you how to get. And then you've got the shotgun, and if you're lucky, sometimes depending on if it's random or not, you can get flash grenades and grenades. And what I tend to do is that because obviously there's loads of them all congregating, coming all after you, I let them all gang up on me, and then I throw the grenade. And if you've got another one, you can take them out. Also, there's that shed where you've got the cow, and there's a little lamp where if you hit it, it sets the poor cow on fire. But then if the zombies are coming into that particular path of the shed, you can actually sit there and kill them as well. So that also helps. And you can, with a couple of hits, if you do it kind of right, you can take out the chainsaw guy. But what I love about the new system that they've added in this game is that they've added a parry system. So if an enemy is attacking you with an axe or the garden rake, as they call it, if you time it just right, you can actually deflect the actual weapons that they attack you with, whether it's an axe or whatever it is that they happen to have. So you can actually deflect. But again, your timing has to be accurate, which I think is actually great. You couldn't do that in the other one. The dodging in it is pretty great. The only thing I would say about the game is that it does feel a little bit heavier in terms of the character movement. It doesn't seem quite as quick. But I'd say that the more you play the demo, the more you kind of get, used to it. But yeah, the parry system's kind of great. You can still slash. Again, as I said, the knife will degrade, so bear that in mind. But yeah, I love the fact that I'm looking forward to do some stealth kills, and I don't know if you'll get more points for doing it, or I'm also hoping that you're still gonna still have the treasures in it, which I think that it will add, because that was part and parcel of the original Resident Evil 4. And obviously Leon says this classic line saying bingo. There is a random thing where if you keep playing it a couple of times, you get the extreme mode where obviously you get more zombies, and then also you end up fighting the chainsaw guy, but this time he's a lot more tougher to defeat, and his chainsaw's on fire. Now, when I told you about to get the TMP, how you get that is when you play the game in the beginning, you go to that automatic cutscene where it takes out that guy, and then what you do is obviously you get the key, open it up, find the police officer, then that zombie comes out, go past him, and then you have to go upstairs, and then it goes to the next cutscene. Before you get to the village, make sure that you get rid of all of your items, get rid of everything, and then once you get to the actual village, there's actually 2 wells that you can go to. I mean, a lot of YouTubers have already put videos on this. where so basically, if you from where the bomb fires, where the cops on fire, if you go completely straight to that tower, there's a well, or where you first come to the village, where the cutscene of you go through the door and the head falls down, you turn right, and then and you go up the path, and then on the right you'll see this door. But what you do is that you turn left, and then when you go down, and then you'll see, when you go down that path, you'll see a red herb, and then you'll notice that there's a well there, and then you'll get the TMP, and then you'll get like 150 bullets, which you can use. You don't get any more. And then once you sit down and you unlock the TMP, when you play the game again, because you can play the game multiple times, you get the TMP again, but you only get 50 bullets. So that's kind of cool. So I'm hoping that we're gonna get lots of upgrades in the main game. But yeah, the actual gameplay, the way the game is just so smooth. I'm hoping that what they do is that they add more to the story, because I'm not sure most people know that when they made Resident Evil 4, originally it was completely different, and then they start the game from scratch and did it again. There are videos on this on YouTube, and I do know that when they made the second version of Resident Evil 4, bits were cut out. So I'm hoping that what they do is that they add on the cut out parts, or maybe even add more parts into it. I did hear a rumour that Claire Redfield might be in it, so I'm hoping that's gonna be the case, where we actually do see more of that. But I've pre-ordered the game because I managed to get help in getting it, so I'm looking forward to actually playing the actual game eventually. But in the meantime, I'm going to be playing more of the demo. I've played it on the PS5 and the Series X. Both seem to be identical from what I've seen, except for the controls. Obviously, if you want the haptic feedback, and then the way the shoulder buttons are different on the PlayStation 5, and obviously you've got the the free Series X pad. Obviously there's no Xbox One version, so for some strange reason, but there is a PS4 version of it. But overall, I'm really excited about the game, because I said I'm a big Resident Evil 4 fan, and I'm a big Leon Kennedy fan as well. As I said before, loving the graphics, even right down to his jacket. You can actually see the detail of the creases on the actual leather of his jacket, and the distressed leather on his jacket, and even the fur around his collar. It's just the attention to detail, and even the atmosphere of the actual game, of the area where you can see the leaves, and then the wind blowing, and then him covering his face, and the mud, even the sound of the mud, even in the mud slowing him down. The game, it's just the attention to detail. I mean, I can't imagine what the game looks like on 4K. It must look absolutely stunning, or it's gonna look stunning. But yeah, I'm very impressed with the actual demo, and it's made me even more excited for the actual main game itself. Although I really need to get round to playing Resident Evil 2 Remake, which I do have, and I did an unboxing of that because on the PS4, because I got the lenticular cover version of that, and also Resident Evil 3, which I've got, which I did unboxing of that as well. That came with a lenticular cover as well. I haven't played that yet either, but I'm definitely gonna get around to playing those. It's gonna be very interesting. And also Resident Evil Village that I've got for the PS5, I've got from the previous Christmas dog, still got to play that. But it's gonna be interesting as to what the next Resident Evil game, will it be Resident Evil 9, and what direction will that take? Will they remake another Resident Evil game? Will it be Resident Evil 5? Will it be Resident Evil 6? Will they improve it? Because obviously a lot of people didn't like it. Will we get a remake of Code Veronica, which I would love. That was the first 3D Resident Evil game, which originally was meant to be Resident Evil 3. But I would love to see a remake of that, which will be kind of interesting. But yeah, the demo, I'm absolutely enjoying it, and I'm definitely going to be playing a lot more of it and practicing a lot more of the demo until the full game comes out. But as I said before, the detail of the graphics, the sound, the parry system, the blocking, the dodging, you can walk while shooting. As well, the enemies are going to be a lot more harder to take down, and the actual kill shots of the enemies, it's going to be absolutely fantastic in playing the actual game. So yeah, I'm totally hyped for it. So yeah, I mean, let me know if any of you are going to watch this video, what your thoughts are of playing the demo, or if you're going to buy the game, or if you're a fan of the Resident Evil series. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Resident Evil 4 Remake, the Chainsaw demo.